It's time to get to work packing this kitchen. If you haven't been keeping up to speed on what's going on in my life, I am moving in about a week. I am packing up this house for my family. Obviously, they are helping as well. But as the mom, as a wife, a lot of the packing falls to me. And so I have been working really hard getting things ready to go. And we are having a bit of a complicated moving process because we're moving our stuff to our new home, which is in the next province, 5 hours away. But we're not really moving our lives yet because we're going to be staying here at a family member's house for 6 weeks while our kids finish the school year here. And so I need to pack a few things for staying here for the next 6 weeks. But by and large, I am packing everything else to go to Edmonton. And so the kitchen is sort of the last area that I have not yet started packing anything yet, and that changes today. I need to get everything out of here, out of the cupboards that I'm not using on a regular basis. If I'm not gonna probably use it in the next week, then it's gonna get packed up today. So I'm gonna keep a small inventory of dishes that we can use. I'm gonna keep the cutlery out, basic cooking materials, pots and pans, and basic cooking utensils. But other than that, I'm going to try to pack up as much as I can. So I think that my strategy is going to be pulling out everything that I want to pack first and just getting it on the counters so I can see what I'm working with, because I don't want to fall into the trap of packing things too heavy, especially with dishes. That gets heavy really fast. And so I want to try to be mixing heavy stuff with lighter stuff so I can just distribute that weight better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull everything out and then I'll start packing. I'm going to start here in this cupboard. This is where we keep our plates, our bowls, and cups. Cold drink cups. Hot drink cups are in the next one over. And then a lot of extra stuff, a lot of extra plates and ramekins, bowls. This stuff doesn't get accessed very often, so probably all of that will get packed. I've already pulled out sort of the bare minimum amount of dishes for us. So this combined with the dirty stuff that is currently in the dishwasher, I think will be a reasonable amount of dishes for us over the next while. You can see that we have a lot of extra dishes, and that's just because we host people in our home a lot. And I don't like dealing with paper plates. I don't like all the waste. It's easy enough to run my dishwasher. And so we have a lot of plates. They're the Corel ones, and so they stack up really easily. They don't take up a lot of room. So we have a lot of plates, but we don't need them all the time. So most of them are going to get packed up, and I'm going to pull out the excess, and then I'll put the stuff that we're keeping back into the cupboard. I think that's all I'm keeping. I think that's all I'm keeping in here. We usually just drink water around here, and most people just use their water bottle anyway. So I think there's probably another one of these jar cups in the dishwasher. And that's really all we need. Or no, I was going to keep this one because Clay likes drinking his water in those beer cups at the end of the day. But other than that, I'm going to pack the rest of this. But I'm not getting boxes yet because, like I said, that's going to get really heavy really fast. So I'll leave this out and I'll move on to the next cupboard. This one's got all our mugs in it. This is where we store our coffee. It's above our espresso machine, and we keep all of our mugs in here. And so there's a lot of them. And it'd be nice if I could downsize a little bit, but I don't think I can. I've already asked people who care about certain cups, and we've gotten rid of everything that we can get rid of. I'm not a collector by nature. I don't like having a lot of stuff, but we have started collecting these Starbucks mugs, and I don't like Starbucks coffee, but I do think that they make great mugs. And so when we travel, we like to pick one of these up from the city that we are visiting, or from the state or province, whatever you have. So we've got a lot of these, and I'm not getting rid of any of them because they're cool to have. And so most of these things do need to be packed. I just need to keep a few for the next week, but really we only need a few in a day and they'll get washed again. So we don't need very many hot cups. have 4 mugs in the cupboard, a few more in the dishwasher, and then the rest of this is gonna get packed. And now I'm gonna move on to the cupboard down here. I don't even know what's down here. You can come and find out with me. Oh yeah, okay. This is jars and my salad spinner and my serving bowls. I don't think I need any of this stuff in the next week. I am not buying any more lettuce. We're just going to use other greens like ready washed spinach. So I don't need to use this for the next week. So this can all basically come out of here and get packed as well. This is a really cool thing. My kids bought me this for Christmas a year or two ago, and I don't need to use this space-saving feature on this salad spinner often, but for moving, this is going to make it really handy. So the spinner bowl and the regular bowl, they fold, and now it's like half the size that it was before. So that's pretty cool. I got to the bottom, I got to the back. So the bottom one is done. Now I just need to empty out the top one. Next up is my bakeware and cookware cupboard. So I need to keep these pans out because we need to eat food for the next week, but most of this bakeware stuff can get packed away. I think I'm just gonna keep out my cake pan because I still have rhubarb that I wanna be making some rhubarb cakes before we move, just to get it used up out of the freezer. So yeah, I think my 9x13 cake pan is the only thing in here that I'm gonna keep for the bakeware section. Some of these cabinets are really hard to get a good angle of and also not feel like I'm really in your face when I'm talking to you. But this cabinet has more baking dishes, the glass ones, glass casserole dishes, and some cutting boards, some extra like parchment paper, aluminum foil, cheese grater, all that stuff is going to get packed because I'm not grating cheese before we move. And I'm not cutting any more raw meat, so I don't need my meat cutting board. All that stuff is going to get emptied out of here and put onto the counter. And I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed with everything that I have pulled out so far. But hopefully, once I get the boxes in the mix here and I start packing things away, this will all start to feel a little less scary soon. Okay, so the only things I'm leaving in here are sour cream containers. I'm going to use those for food storage while we're here and maybe in the next house too, because there's not a lot of food storage containers where we're going to be staying. So I'll bring those along, possibly, or else I'll just throw them in the recycling. And there's a plastic bag here that you might have noticed. I use that to cover my dough when I'm making pizza dough so that it gets a better rise because it stays warmer. And I think I'm making pizza one more time this week, and so I'm leaving that out as well instead of throwing it in the garbage. Short people problems. I can't reach these things. I got it out. Now I just need to get it down because I'm standing up on a stool and the cupboards are full. This is getting really awkward. Okay, 2 things. 1, this is a lot of stuff and I'm overwhelmed. 2, I'm really glad that all of this stuff normally has a place to live in my kitchen and that I don't live like this every day. If you do have stuff on your counters all the time, I would implore you to get it off because it's so much easier to work in a clean, uncluttered, tidy space. You do so much in the kitchen, and if you don't have space to do that stuff, it's so much harder. You're making your life so much harder. So if you normally live with stuff like this on your counters, get it off. You will thank me later. Now, I think I'm gonna start by the coffee maker because it is time for afternoon coffee and I can't make coffee with all those cups there. So that's my first stop. I need to go get more newspaper. First box is done. I just wanted to take a second and explain my packing strategy before I make my coffee. And that is with the boxes that I'm packing, I am putting a label on the top left corner of every box that says the name of the room that the thing is supposed to go in and then what is inside the box. And then I put another one on the end so that the person who's carrying the box can see, okay, this goes to the kitchen. And then when the boxes are stacked one on top of the other, you can still see what is inside and you don't have to move boxes in order to see the top label. So there you go. I've moved a few times and I feel like I'm learning a few things along the way. It's been almost 10 years, but I've moved a lot in my life. So I've got a few tricks up my sleeve and that one I think is going to come in really handy, especially because we're putting a lot of stuff in our basement because we just don't have room for it in our main living space right now until we get some shelves put up and different things. And so when we've got stacks of boxes in the basement, it's going to be really handy to be able to see if I'm looking for school books, for example, and the books are all packed away in boxes. I tried to sort of categorize what kind of books are in each box. So if I need to find history books or reading curriculum, it's all itemized on the label so I can find what I'm hopefully find what I'm looking for. But I'm going to take a coffee break. Okay, I think that'll do for today. It's about 7.5 hours since I started. I packed all these boxes. We took a break for supper in the middle, went to get some slushies from the convenience store, and I am beat. I got almost everything that isn't food and isn't dishes that we need for the next week packed away. It feels really good to be done, but I am ready to go to bed. So thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know if you have any helpful tips or tricks or pieces of wisdom for moving that would be helpful to me as we get ready to make this big move. And I will see you again next time.